Okay, so welcome to today's talk, and I'm going to talk to you today about a disease, one of the disease that's very common in today's generation, motor neuron disease. And I'm going to talk to you about how homeopathy can be a very important part of the treatment in this type of disorders. So first, let's try to understand what is motor neuron disease. It's basically a group of neurodegenerative disorder that affect the motor neuron, and also especially the motor neurons are the neurons which control the voluntarily muscles of the body. There are different types, and you can study this from any medical book. Amyotrophic lateral sclerosis, progressive bulbar palsy, this is very common, bulbar palsy, pseudobulbar palsy, primary lateral sclerosis, monomelic, amyotrophic, and there are many rare variants, out of which the commonest one that you will see in India, America, and Europe is amyotrophic lateral sclerosis and progressive bulbar palsy. Amyotrophic lateral sclerosis, also called as Lou Gehrig syndrome. And just to explain you what happens in kind of amyotrophic lateral sclerosis, you can see here, this is a typical neuron. You can see the body, the nucleus, the axon, the muscle. What happens in amyotrophic lateral sclerosis is that the nerves especially are atrophied. Let's see what happens in the nerve cells. You can see the atrophy that happens. So there is a degeneration. Causes, honestly, it's not known. You study from anywhere and you try to do, there are many researches going on, environmental, toxic, viral, genetic factor. But to be brutally honest with you, there aren't any clear factors. So let's try to understand what is this kind of disorder, and let's try to understand this brain, spinal cord, muscle, upper motor neuron, the anterior horn cells. What happens is particularly, especially, is that especially the synapse that happens between the neurons and the anterior horn cell, that doesn't happen properly in this kind of disorder. And there are many neurological symptoms that develop. The typical sign and symptom, this is, I'm showing you a case which is typically very bad. There is difficulty in walking, difficulty in standing, there is emaciation, progressive muscular atrophy, Babinski sign, the hand posture, everything affects the nerves, affect the tongue, affect the facial kind of the faces, the muscle expression, the face expression goes away. Atrophy of tongue happens. So it's typically, it can get very bad. You can almost say you can get to an idea of being bedridden. Many signs and symptoms happen, especially patients start with telling they find difficulty in walking, difficulty in breathing, difficulty in swallowing, lot of salivation, emotional affections. Weakness is one of the things that starts. They stop feeling things. Fasciculation starts, twitching starts. There are so many symptoms. One of the way of diagnosing it, actually clinically, if you evaluate, you'll directly get a diagnosis. But you can also do a CSF fluid, an MRI, EMG, biopsy. There isn't much treatment available for this. However, and this is where I want to tell you, homeopathy has a tremendous role in this type of disorder. And I feel in many difficult cases, homeopathy is the answer. One of very old masters of homeopathy, Dr. Sarabhai Kapadia, once said, in any type of disorder, homeopathy can help. How much it will help, that depends on the skill levels of the homeopath, and also depends on the immune system of the person. The way we understand this type of disorder is that at much, the motor neuron disease is much at a superficial level, but at a deeper level there is a deeper state which excites it. It can be related to stress, lifestyle, hormones, and we try to understand that. Here I want to give you one example, very bad case of motor neuron disease of a lady, about 55-year-old lady, based in Hyderabad, came to see me in my clinic. and she wasn't able to walk. She was brought on a wheelchair. Extreme weakness, paralytic state, dribbling, urine dribbling, involuntary stool, difficulty to swallow, salivation, almost bedridden. And she had been to top neurologists all across India. In Leelavati, she had been to South, also been to AIMS. Now, in homeopathy, we go deeper to the symptoms. And when I try to understand her as a person, and this is very important in homeopathy, she had a lot of anxiety about family members, about being alone. She would constantly need someone with her. Although previously she was very dominating, she would want things her way. They would call her as the boss of the house. But now no one is listening to her, so that started affecting her. But deeper to this, when I asked her how did all of this start and what was the stress for you, there was a death of a family member, and that affected her a lot. She started feeling insecure. She started feeling as if no one is there with her. A deep feeling of insecurity, as if left away from the family. And then she has become very cautious, anxious. I spoke to her for about an hour in detail. So, what I understood is that at a deeper level, there's a lot of insecurity. And this insecurity, if I try to understand, is at a deeper level. I found the remedy, homeopathic remedy known as causticum. And this is the way we analyze. And the remedy causticum I gave in 200 potency every month for about 7 months, I think. In follow up after 6 months, she has remarkably changed. She is able to walk on her own. She is able to go for a walk every day, half an hour. She is able to talk. Her speech also was affected. Her salivation has reduced. And according to the neurologist, her disease has stopped. The progress of the disease has stopped. And this is what homeopathy can do. That in many cases, it can stop the progress of the disease. And in some cases, there can also be a reversal. So, this is what I want to talk to you about. But I want to tell you, these type of cases need a lot of care, a lot of motivation, a lot of affection from the family members, people around them. This is the secret of basically any type of treatment care. So write to me. This is my email ID, gaurang@gmail.com. And if you're in and across our city in Mumbai, this is where I practice. You can come and meet me for your problems. And if you want to take online consultation, I can help you. Homeopathy has a remarkable kind of treatment for this kind of disorder.